Today we will cover the fast of Asarah Teves, the fast of the 10th day of the month of Teves. Teves, of course, we know is the month that's connected with Hanukkah, but the 10th day of the month is an event that occurred centuries earlier, in around 586 BCE, when Nebuchadnezzar laid siege to the city of Jerusalem. At that time, the first temple was still standing. And as a result of this siege, that first temple was destroyed on the 9th of Av of that year, excuse me. And the commemoration is to have a fast day because, again, it was a tremendous tragedy. The 10th of Teves is the only fast day left that can occur on a Friday. So we'll talk a little bit about fasting and how this fast day is unique from the other fast days. So first of all, fast days that are public fast days begin at Alos HaShachar, at the break of dawn, which is some 72 minutes before sunrise. How that's calculated is a dispute. I recommend consulting with your local rabbi to find out what the local custom is. Generally speaking, you should try to not eat within half an hour of the daybreak. So you can have some drinks like coffee if having a headache from a lack of caffeine could affect you. But for the most part, you should try to eat the night before, so that way you don't need to eat when you wake up in the morning. If you feel you need to wake up to eat because it would be too difficult to fast, you should have that in mind when going to sleep, that you're going to get up early to fast. So, the 10th of Teves, as we said, is the only one that falls out on a Friday. You should still fast until the end of all other fasts, which is Seis HaKochavim, the time when 3 stars come out. So we're a little bit more strict on the Fridays because we don't want to wait too long, because it's also going to be Shabbos that night. So we wait to basically the time when Shabbos would start 100%, as opposed to when we normally start it, which is when we are not sure if it starts at sundown, at Shkia. It is still permitted to recite things like Kabbalah Shabbos and Mariv earlier, and that way you can start Kiddush at Seis HaKochavim. So those are permitted to do. So we're kind of playing a double edge on the custom over here. So it's kind of Shabbos, it's kind of still a fast, but there's no problem to wait a little bit because you're supposed to do the mitzvah of Kiddush as soon as possible. All normal preparations can be done on that day. You can shower, you can go to the mikvah, you can shave. All those things are possible. Some people who wouldn't do those things on some fast days would do it on this day. So for Mincha, it's a little interesting. It has to start a little earlier because you have to read the Torah and the Haftarah. So we generally have it earlier. Things like Tachanun and Avinu Malkeinu that are normally said on fast days are going to be omitted on Asar B'Teves in the afternoon. However, you would recite Avinu Malkeinu in the morning. And you may also, some people have the custom to taste the food as long as you're not swallowing it. And normally that's not permitted. Normally, for example, one is not permitted to put food in their mouth because they might swallow it. So, for example, brushing teeth on a fast day, one should refrain from putting water in their mouth to rinse out their mouth because they might come to swallow it. However, one could use something that they're definitely not going to swallow. For example, like mouthwash. You wouldn't swallow it. You wouldn't want to swallow it. It's not good to swallow. It's not food. But putting food, so one could touch it to their tongue to make sure that it starts okay. And for sure, for Svardim, one can be lenient. Amongst the Ashkenazi decisors, some people take a little bit of a strict approach. But for sure, one should go ahead and try to take a little bit of taste to make sure the food is okay for Shabbos. So, but other people restrict other types of things on regular fast days. So chewing gum, for example, wouldn't be permitted, even though it has no taste left after a while. because you're still going to benefit from the sweetness ahead of time. So those Fridays, it'll be okay. Similar to the rule on this Friday will be okay. Similar to those Fridays when it's the Friday of the week in which Tisha B'Av falls, one is not allowed to taste meat. One could do so on Friday to make sure the food tastes okay for Shabbos. So for this coming Friday, we have the unique experience of having a communal fast day on a Friday. So to summarize, everything about the day is pretty much the same. There's no eating or drinking from the time of daybreak, Alus HaShachar, until Tzeis HaKochavim. And one should say Kiddush for Friday night right at Tzeis HaKochavim. However, we still accept Shabbos with Kabbalah Shabbos, Lachadodi, and so on, and Mariv at the earlier times in order to get ready for Shabbos. Also, preparing the food is also acceptable. Everyone have a very easy fast and an amazing Shabbos afterwards.